Good morning and welcome to GC 365. It is day 175. It's June 24th. I'm Pastor Mariah, our children's pastor at the Lake Stevens campus, and I'm here with my friend Danielle. Hi, Danielle.
Hello.
I'm so excited you're joining us. Danielle, how long have you been going to the Lake Stevens campus now?
We were just talking about it, I think, for a little over 4 years now.
Yeah, we've only been around for all 4.5 years. So, I mean, you've been there since pretty much the beginning.
Yes, since launching in Lake Stevens.
Okay.
Like the actual meeting in Lake Stevens.
Like the launch time. Yeah. That's awesome. And Danielle's married to her wonderful husband, Michael, and has 4 kids.
Yes, I do.
Your 4 kids. What do you have? Tell the people at home.
Oh, well, my oldest is a boy and he will turn 11 this summer. And then I have 3 girls. My oldest daughter will turn 9. And then I have a 7 and a 5-year-old.
All the estrogen in that house.
Yes.
Poor Ian and Michael are just...
Even all the pets are girls too.
Just drowning in estrogen, yes. Those poor guys.
Yes, they are.
Well, today we've titled today's message, Why Can't We Be Friends? Because I really wanted to focus on the set of verses that we read in Acts 15, 36 through 40, or 36 through 41. Yeah, that was right. And this set of verses specifically talks about when Paul and Barnabas go their separate ways. Mm-hmm. Barnabas really wants Mark to come with them on their ministry journey. Paul is not digging that. And so they agree to disagree. They had a difference of opinions as to whether or not he should come with us. Barnabas is a lot more emotionally driven, so he had this kindred familiarity with Mark and wanted Mark to come, whereas Paul was much more logical, and he really felt like he wasn't going to benefit them on their journey. Now, the reason we picked this out, I was telling Danielle, I think it was really important that we picked this out because normally it's 5 verses. Mm-hmm. And normally we kind of gloss over it. I don't know if you have ever thought much about this.
I really haven't.
Yeah, it was like normally I gloss over, okay, Paul and Barnabas went their separate ways. Cool, whatever. Why does this matter? Mm-hmm. But we think about Luke, who is the one that wrote the book of Acts. And Luke and Paul were really good friends. So now if Luke is just writing this based on his own fruition, he probably would have glossed over it because it didn't suit Paul well, because it was an embarrassing story for Paul to have a difference of opinion with somebody he did ministry with. Mm-hmm. But because we know that it was prompted by the Holy Spirit to write, then we know that it's important and we know that it's something that we can glean from. And so I just wanted to make sure that we actually glean something from it. So why can't we be friends? So I wanted to ask you, Danielle, have you ever had a friendship end where there was a huge falling out, or maybe a friendship end when there wasn't a huge falling out, maybe no massive disagreement, just a parting of ways? How have some of the friendships in your past ended, good and bad?
So I thought about when I moved out here from Minnesota, I had quite a few friendships just naturally, and nothing bad happened. It's just we came to a crossroads in our lives where I moved all the way out west and they continued in Minnesota, and it wasn't easy to really continue, and it just didn't really benefit either of us to work at that kind of relationship when we didn't have much in common anymore. We weren't going to see each other anymore. And so it just kind of ended. I mean, we touch base every now and then, but otherwise, kind of done in that way.
And then on the flip side, you've had one where it wasn't a great ending.
Yes. When also after we moved out here, I think it was close to 4 years. It was with my best friend, somebody who I knew very well for many years. And we had a disagreement on how to communicate living so far apart, which is kind of a little amusing to me now.
That's interesting. The irony is not lost on me.
Exactly. And it led to her deciding that our friendship was not worth continuing. And that was very hurtful to me at the time. And I still feel hurt by that.
Yeah, I can imagine. And, we normally have friendships that generally our society pushes for friendships that end in a massive blowout way. But I love that Paul and Barnabas didn't have any major doctrinal disagreement. They didn't have a massive falling out. They just had a personal dispute, and it was based on a judgment call. And it didn't detract from their personal ministries, and it didn't detract from their respective efforts. It just led them to be parting of ways. So it just led me to know that, yes, society wants us to have black and white. We're either friends or we're enemies. There's no we're pleasant acquaintances, or we can have this moment of I can love being around you, but that doesn't mean we have to be best friends, or that I have to agree on everything. And I wonder why. Why do you think that is something that we struggle with so much?
Well, I think in general, we have a hard time being open and honest with each other. I mean, how many times do we walk in up to somebody and say, oh, hey, how are you? And our response is, oh, I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
But we
Yeah.
don't really take the time to be honest and open up in relationships. And really relationships are a lot of work.
Yeah.
So it is hard
Yeah.
to have an authentic relationship with someone, and it takes commitment and investing time and
Yeah, and when differences lead you down different paths, you know.
yes, it's harder to find something in common
It's
to continue
hard, yeah.
that work of that relationship. So that's why I think about similar, like when I left people in Minnesota and I'm not really friends with them anymore. We don't have that common thread. We're not seeing each other all the time. So it's just
Yeah.
bad
And
stuff.
similarly, on the other side of it, you know, when you have a friendship that ends really poorly, it's you get extra hurt by it. It's more of a dent in your armor because you invested so much time and energy in, and
Exactly.
you were vulnerable and you were open. And because of that, you're kind of like, well, shoot, what am I supposed to do now? You know, like this is my best friend. So, and I just think that in general, we just find that everything has to be so black and white. And it's okay to have differing opinions. It's okay to say I'm your friend, but I'm not your best friend. It's okay to say that, you know, we don't have to agree on everything, or to say I love being around you, but I'm going to choose not to open up about this portion of my life with you because I don't think that you're the person that God has placed in my life for that specific thing, or, you know, whatever. And, you know, as long as our ultimate goal of doing the will of God stays the ultimate goal, we can agree to disagree. And,
That
you
is
know,
so true.
we found that even in scripture, Paul still affectionately regards to Barnabas. He still feels affection towards Barnabas, even after they've separated ways. He doesn't badmouth him. He doesn't try to tear down what he's doing. And so I want to know what the outcome of these situations were for you. So, you know, how do you feel now? And how have you processed it, these friendships ending? And, you know, what was the outcome of those situations, I guess?
So with the ones where we just had parting, like good, nothing bad happened, if I have an opportunity to connect with those people, I do. If I have the time, if I'm in Minnesota again, or if they for some reason come out here and, you know, we see each other and then go on like we usually do. And then, so now with my best friend, with that ending, it's been almost 7 years now, which is kind of crazy to think that it's been that long. But I went through a time of being really frustrated and angry and questioning God and why would you let that happen? And even, you know, questioning myself, like, am I even worth being someone's friend? Can I be loved by other people? And I do still carry, like, you know, hurt from that, but I feel like God has really turned that around for me as well, because he helped me see what real friendships look like. And he has blessed me with some really beautiful and true friendships that I am really thankful for.
Yeah, I think, you know, and I think it plays really well into this idea that, you know, Paul and Barnabas, when they separated their ways, we could argue that their ministries separate were more effective than their ministries together. And if they had continued together in ministry, it probably would not have gone as well as it went when they separated. And so, you know, we always want all of the information. When there's a divide, when there's some dissension, when something's happened, we want to know everything. We want to know the ins and outs. And when somebody leaves a church, or when there's a split of some kind, you want to take sides. You want to, you know what happened. You want to get to the bottom of it. You want to know all the juicy drama. But it leads to more division. That ultimately just leads to more division. And so they didn't let this dispute hinder them from doing the work of God. And just like in our friendships, we have the capacity to have better friendships when we're willing to kind of leave those ones that aren't as beneficial to us behind us, right? So, and so you kind of addressed how you feel about these people now. So you said with your with the ones that ended well and ended natural parting of ways, that you still feel affectionately towards them. Yeah, and then the ones that didn't, you don't. And like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I still love, I still call her my best friend, even though I don't. I know. I don't. It's so funny that I do, but I mean, I still love her, and I miss her, and I, you know, still sometimes feel frustrated about, you know, what in the world even happened here. I don't understand, but at the same time, So I don't have ill will towards her, but it really did give me the opportunity to see authentic relationship and to find those friends.
Well, and also you think about the friendships that ended well for you
Mhm.
or that didn't end, but separated nicely, right? We shouldn't call it ending. And you didn't harbor any resentment, any ill will. You didn't harbor any frustration. You didn't have to wrestle with that for a long time.
Yeah.
Whereas with other ones, you do have to wrestle with that. And think about how much mental capacity we waste on these friendships.
That's true.
When that's exactly not what God intended us to do, right? So, I mean, we see that later on in 1 Corinthians that Paul actually goes to bat for Barnabas. He says that Barnabas is worthy of monetary funding so that he can continue doing ministry. Because back then, when you were in ministry, you didn't get paid for it. You were given money through places to stay and food, and you would just go into a town and hope that they would put you up. And so Paul was still asking for monetary help for Barnabas, even after they'd separated. And it just shows that he doesn't have any ill will towards him. And it's something that I think that we can all learn from, is that friendships don't have to end in major hate, or that we can all, why can't we be friends? Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all.
I think we covered it all. We did a good job. High five, friend.
Good job. Yeah.
Great job. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow morning.